Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of ZON News. This is your CD guy, Sean, and I've always kind of flirted with the idea of doing a podcast, trying to figure out that kind of a concept, though. That's something I've gone back and forth on, but I think I got something I want to bring to you all for the foreseeable future, and that's what we're going to do. Once again, I'm calling it ZON. Zoomed out news. And so the idea behind it is going to be bringing you a news article from the local community that I am a part of, as well as in the state level, then the country level, and then something from around the world. I think a lot of the problems that we're having going on in the country and the world and the local communities are partly due to a lack of education. So I want to bring stuff to the masses, especially because, with social media and even the news outlets themselves, they kind of regurgitate the same thing over and over again. So you're kind of in a bubble and you don't necessarily get the full side of everything, or things are left out completely. And so you have no idea. And so you base your views and everything on that limited information. And so the goal is to go ahead and correct that, and again let you know that there's just a lot going on. As I've mentioned on my channel, and for any of you that are new here, I do have a master's in community development, which what I would do in that instance is I would go into a community, take a look around, identify the different assets of the community itself and the deficiencies, and put together a solution with the community involved in that process to go ahead and fix the issues. So that's just a very broad stroke of what community development is. There's a lot more finesse to it, and I can definitely go over the specifics of it a little bit more as we go along here. But I wanted to bring a little bit of everything to this. So here we go. We'll start off with the local community. I am part of the Albuquerque area in New Mexico, and so that's where we will begin. Now, the article that I found is a recent one from a place called The Paper. And what it's stating is that there are a lot of local restaurants that are shutting down. Prices have gone up. Labor is not getting any cheaper as well. I know people aren't going out as much, and that's still kind of like the hangover from COVID. So there's a lot of contributing factors to this, but these are some local places that were pretty popular. One of them was called the Bosque Brewing, and they still have like a place or two, but they had expanded quite a bit recently and kind of drawn that down. Another place is called the Pharmacy. This was a popular spot to go for like brunch, and I have done that myself. And I'll tell you, I had about an hour wait to actually get to my table because it was such a popular place. And these are important in a community. One, it helps keep the character of the community. People build memories. It gives them something to do. It provides jobs for local community members. And also, importantly, and not thought about as often, money that is given to the restaurant for the food or anything else, that stays in the local community. If you're going to those corporate restaurants, their profits that restaurant makes goes to the headquarters. It's not sticking around in the community as much. So having these local places is very important. I have a job on a day-to-day basis where I talk to people from all over the country. And because of like the Food Network and Travel Channel, I've learned about these different famous restaurants, and it's good to have that. It's good to build that excitement for it. And when I talk to somebody from across the country and I have seen an episode that was based in their town, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this restaurant? So it builds excitement, it builds pride. So these local places are important. And, the other side of the coin, though, is, the industry itself is pretty hard. I actually am a professionally trained chef myself. I went to Le Cordon Bleu, graduated, worked in all the different types of restaurants. So I know how hard of an industry it is to be a part of and be successful in. But for every place that goes out, there tend to be new places that come take their place. Hopefully they have as much success and longevity as the original places did. So that we all could enjoy them as long as possible. But there is always that. Whenever something goes out, there's always something to come in. The next article that I have here is about a place in New Mexico, the western part of it, in Catron County. Sorry, New Mexico. It's on the western part of the state. So this is about an art project out that way, and this has been around since the 1970s, and so they get several thousand people a year requesting to go ahead and visit this place. And what it is this person had set up a bunch of stainless steel poles about 200 plus feet apart in a grid system. Now, what the attraction here, well, first of all, let me backtrack. It is called the lightning field. Now, yes, there's lightning, of course. There's a lot of good lightning out here in New Mexico, but that's not what these poles do. What they do is, based on where you are standing and in the time of day, they look a certain way and give off a certain light and color. So the idea is to kind of walk around the perimeter of it all, or walk in between them all, and kind of see how they look throughout the day for it. And this is a tourist attraction, and they actually have a cabin out there that you can go ahead and rent as well, so you can kind of set up shop and be there for a full day if you wanted to do so, to see, throughout the whole day, early morning to the nighttime. So pretty cool. I had never even heard of it before. I don't know anybody who's heard of it either, but this kind of makes me excited that, even though I've been out here for a very long time now, that there's still things to learn about, and, maybe even go check out someday if I'm ever in that part of the state. And again, tourism is huge. It's a big business, and every little community can definitely use any boost that it can get in popularity. So I'm excited to see that there's something out here, and it's definitely unique. I've never heard of any other place doing anything like it before, so definitely something to be proud of. All right, so this next article is actually the result of a Gallup poll that was taken mid-January, or the article came out mid-January, I should say. And this is going to shake some things up here. Now, part of community development is looking at the political landscape of the area. But this kind of goes beyond that. This is going to be nationwide. But based on this poll, for the first time ever, 45% of voters are identifying as independents. Now, this is huge. So it's a trend that's been going on for decades now, but it's finally hit the highest point now. And the reason that this is so big is because, traditionally you kind of fall into one camp or the other. But things have been chaotic for a long time now. And so the younger people are not getting the consistent help that they want or need. And they're seeing this out of both sides. So they're not really going for one party versus the other. They're going to be kind of in the middle there and kind of see what the candidate is, what the topic is, more than anything else. And so this is going to really shake things up, because in the past, you just really had to go for your own voters, maybe get a few of the opposite side, and that's about it. But now there's such a huge part of the voting population that's right in the middle there. So not only do you have to, sway your voters that are usually your ones that you can depend on and make sure that they still do their thing, you now have a larger group of people who could go either way that you have to bring on to your side. So this is definitely going to shake some things up, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. All right, now the last one that I have for us tonight is going to be from looks like the page is called Fast Company, and this is an article about Helsinki, Finland. Now this is, I can't give them enough round of applause, standing ovations for this, but from July 2024 to July 2025, they did not have a single traffic death. Now that's huge. Here in the city, like most cities, you can't go on any major street and not see a memorial of where somebody was killed, with a pedestrian or doing a walk across the street, or a bike. We have bicycles that are painted white around here to symbolize that when a bike rider was killed. We can't go on any of the major streets without seeing that. And the same goes for your other major cities around the country as well. It's not just something here in New Mexico. But they went an entire year without having a single traffic death, and that's amazing. And something we all should aspire to. Speed limits, zoning, street design, all these are factors, and we all, as citizens of our communities, can be a part of the solution. I've encouraged people in the past to, get involved with the local community, and there are organizations out there that are interested in doing work in this very topic, making streets safer. Sorry, it's been a long day. Making the streets safer for walkers, for bike riders, for kids crossing and going to school, or here or there. Just trying to make things safe for everyone. So again, bravo to them, Helensky. You should all teach us how you made that happen, so we can make sure that we're not losing people senselessly here in this country as well. All right, well, that is all that I have for you here this evening. I do want to get more of these episodes out as often as I can. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm hoping at least one every 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully more often than that down the line here. But thank you all for hanging with me for this little bit of time tonight, and hopefully you all learned something as well, or maybe put a thought in your head that you hadn't thought about before. Stay safe out there and have a great night. I'll catch you all later.